welcome everyone to this episode of Concrete Action Towards Net Zero. My name is Marcus Håkansson. I'm representing BDO, the audit and advisory firm. And I'm here today with Anders Enebjörk from NCC and Anders Enebjörk from Ecometrics, as usual, I would say.
Exactly.
And we were going to speak about today procurement, and we started to plan that, Eric. And then we started to talk to you, Anders, and we realized that the procurement is an interesting topic, absolutely, but it starts before that, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. And it was Anders who pointed this out to us very clearly and very accurately that we should start talking about this earlier. Anders, you were talking about the design phase and how that came into play. So for our viewers, please, could you elaborate a little bit from your perspective and also tell us a little about your company, of course.
Yes, my name is Anders Enebjörk. I work at NCC, which is one of the largest construction companies in the Nordics, and I work as a sustainability specialist within the business area called NCC Building Sweden. So that means that I work with all sustainability issues, but I focus a lot on climate, reuse material and climate, reducing climate impact.
Yeah, and when we were talking before we sat down here, you were talking a little bit about sort of procurement, and when you're actually going into the construction projects, that's one thing, but a lot of the impact actually happens earlier in the process. Yes. Can you elaborate?
Yeah, exactly. We usually talked about maybe 3 different phases, where we in the first phase design the building. You know, the volume, how should it look? Or an architect take the first drawings and the volumes, if the building is a square or is it round, everything like that, and we see it's a lot of optimization in that phase that kind of creates the ability to build a building with low climate impact. And in the next phase, we focus on the specific material and the requirements for those materials. And in the last phase, we focus on buying the right materials, kind of the climate improved materials. But the last one, the climate improved materials, they're usually a bit more expensive. So we need to work with the other areas to kind of lower the amount of materials and lower the demands of the materials and thereby lower the cost for it. Because usually we don't have that extra money to put in to buy the more expensive materials.
What is usually the heaviest incentive for the client to get involved early?
Lower costs is number one, and I see that at the moment we kind of lowering climate impact and getting more sustainable is the other one that is really top 2 incentives.
And if we elaborate on the different phases, in the design phase, the first phase, can you develop more? What is it that you actually do there to improve the project?
Yeah, we're looking on which areas kind of get the building to be complicated to build. So we want for example, we want all the loads to go straight down. And that means that we need to have a wall or a pillar all the way. So if we have something with it, for example, in the facade, there is a drawing, and then we need a more complicated structure that is much more expensive to build and get a lot of more climate impact because we need more materials. So those kind of simplifications.
And is this transforming the whole industry, or is it NCC in specific that is?
No, not only NCC, but But to say that it's transforming the entire industry maybe be a bit too large. But I see a lot of companies that start to work this way and discuss these kind of things. And when it comes to concrete, we see it's that is a focus in the whole world when we're talking to reduce the climate impact from concrete. It's not just using new binders. It's kind of reducing the amounts and also reducing the demands on the concrete to lower exposure costs and all those things.
Yeah, because I saw we've been talking with some other people and been meeting a lot of people in the industry that says that one of the problems is like over engineering, because there's so many, it's so linear and everyone is sort of having some safety margin and it sort of multiplies. But if you, as you say, involve people early in the process, will those kinds of challenges also be addressed?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And I think sometimes we are under engineering because we take the construction that we look at and we do the same as we did last time. And
it works.
Yeah, it works. And it's easy. It's a little bit too much material, a little bit too much, too high. But it worked last time. So it's easy to use that. So if we have the ability to kind of calculate the details, we might reduce the amount of rebar and reduce the volume, and we see that a lot.
Yeah.
So in a typical project, we can reduce the amount of rebar with about 20%.
Oh wow!
And that is a lot of money.
Yeah,
and a lot of CO2.
Yeah, exactly.
Time as well, I suppose.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So how much? Sort of looking at the design phase, from your experience, because I know you've been working on some very successful projects here in Sweden. How much of the CO2 emissions can you actually lower by just being smarter in the design phase? Approximately, roughly.
I would say some depends on the project, of course, but somewhere 20-30%.
Oh wow! Yeah. So a lot can happen in the design phase.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So really interesting. We've been talking a lot about design and how you can impact, and really insightful, especially for me. So moving forward to the actual construction of the buildings. So can you tell me a little about going back to concrete again, sort of when you're building and you're in the construction process, how does it work? Things that you need to do differently? Is it more expensive to have the low carbon concrete, and what does that sort of mean for the whole project? Can you elaborate?
Yeah. So of course we have the climate improved concrete. We replace the binders. But the first step is, as we talked about before, lowering the strength classes. That is, I didn't say that before, but it's the cement in the concrete that stands for all the climate impact.
Like 95%.
Yeah, something like that. And if we reduce the strength class, we reduce the amount of cement. So that is what we really want to work with all the time. And sometimes we have higher strength class than we need because we want it to cure faster or to dry faster. So it's kind of on the time the schedule, how we work and how we plan in projects, of course, because we see that when we have the climate improved concrete, we will replace cement with other binders. It's getting a longer time to cure. And then we need to plan that. And then especially in the winter, when we need to add a lot of energy or heat to get it to cure fast enough. So then we need to kind of use the right concrete during the different times of the year, depending on the temperature.
And the other question I had was, which goes back a little bit to the design phase, is because when you're in the actual construction and traditionally sort of you go out with tenders to the suppliers and say, okay, this is what we want, give us your price and your sort of everything that goes with that tendering process. But since you want to involve them earlier on, how does that work? Do you still have a tendering process, or how does that work?
Yeah, we still have a tendering process, but we kind of look at other things. So usually we work with kind of open books. So we show all the costs for all the materials we buy, and then we in the agreements we make, we set an agreement about the margin, the fee that we need to have to be effective.
Has a profitable company.
And we agree about that, and it's one of the targets between all the parties in the projects. And then we're open to kind of optimize all the other things together with our client. So that is one quite common way to handle it.
So the way I understand it is that old school construction is basically the way it was, but the more you go to sustainable construction, there's more consulting involved and more transparency involved.
So today, do you see that? We talked a little bit about it, but sustainability and climate sort of reduced impact when you're building is still not really a competitive advantage. It's more sort of a hygiene factor, or if you sort of comply with sort of the set standard, then that's okay. You don't have a competitive advantage if you can lower it even further. Is that correct?
Yeah, but at the same time, kind of as we speak, we see that a lot of our clients, they are putting their own demands. Since we don't have any legal demands, they have their own demands. And we have a lot of local corporations in Sweden, which is kind of regional, where you have usually some kind of stepwise lowering CO2 demands. And a lot of our clients use those. And now they are kind of getting
they're pushing it forward.
And now it's getting hard to actually achieve those kind of demands. And then we have the knowledge, we know how to do it. So we actually get progress because we're good at those.
That's good news.
Yeah,
it will drive sustainability.
Yeah, and that is, I mean, as I talked about, we have our 45 sustainability specialists, and that is a strategic choice. Our own knowledge about this. So when we looked at it many years ago, we saw that this will probably be something that we have an advantage if we have that knowledge.
Thanks a million, Anders, for being with us today. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I think at least I learned a lot, and I hope everyone who's watching has learned a lot as well. So thanks a lot for being with us. And really looking forward to meeting you in a year and a half and see what's happened.
Thank you.
Thank you all for watching.